All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to the inaugural episode of the WebSins video podcast. I'm your co-host, Riley Farba, Nate Boland, and in this video podcast, we just are going to look at different websites and give you guys our observations on how they could improve their UI, their SEO, etc.
The first thing off the bat is that
It's not responsive.
it's not responsive. The nav is obviously pretty tall, which is pushing everything too far down. There is no products on the homepage, which is an issue. You want the least amount of clicks to the cart as possible, so having the products, having you to have to click to shop now, and then again click,
Yeah, that's
and then click again.
That's a bad UI. That's definitely.
and then
a bad
finally
UI.
add your 5 clicks in, and then you finally add the product. You want to make it 1 to 2,
Yeah.
if possible.
I will say on the homepage and actually site-wide, it's not responsive. They're actually going to serve you a different version of the website based on the user agent. So, like if you come in on mobile, you'll actually see a slightly different website.
Okay.
So it's not responsive in the classic fully responsive way, but they just serve you a different website on mobile.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree. The header is huge. The logo takes up a lot of space, and it's also fairly uncommon to see the logo in the middle rather than on the top left.
Top left. Yeah.
Yeah. That said, it's not like a terrible header. I mean, it does the job. I think it's weird that chat and search are red and everything else is not. Why isn't a cart? Most e-commerce companies don't use a contrasting cart, but it's usually an icon.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it's not an icon is just it's a variation from the mean, and their shoppers aren't just shopping on Room and Board.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So they're used to seeing the cart icon, and when they come here and they don't see it, it's just friction in the
Exactly.
in the
want
buying
to keep
process.
everything as
Exactly.
seamless.
Make the website as intuitive as possible, and don't make users learn new things.
Yeah, definitely.
Other things we're seeing here, interesting to see a sign up for emails right below their homepage, homepage hero.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also kind of surprised to see a static hero here rather than a slider. And that has been a trend over the last few years to move away from image sliders, but in e-commerce specifically, we've seen those to be fairly common.
Definitely, yeah.
And even on sites that we know are running A/B tests constantly. So, I haven't run that test myself to see whether slider or static hero on an e-commerce homepage. And just within e-commerce, every site's going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of surprised to not see
Yeah,
that here.
same. As we move down, I mean, like I said, there's 0 products on the homepage. It's
Mhm.
just category pages or links to different pages such as sales or bedroom or dining, which I do think is an issue,
Yeah.
especially for a company that promotes themselves as an e-commerce website. There
Yeah.
is no products
Right.
in visible sight.
So Room and Board's actually an interesting example because they're traditional brick and mortar also. They're kind of they're brick and mortar first, e-commerce second. So, it makes sense that they would have some of these flaws in their e-commerce because it's not being prioritized as much as their retail. But the other thing I'm noticing here is that if you scroll down a little bit and you get into the rooms, it says View Gallery, which makes me think that it's going to take me to an inspiration page rather than a shopping page.
Yeah, I totally feel that.
No, it didn't. It brought me to a shopping page.
Mm-hmm.
Or did it? I don't know what the purpose of this page is. What do you want your user to do on this page? Right?
Yeah.
There should be a clear call to action, whether it's shopping or inspiration. And they do a good job of having an inspiration section of their website. I don't know if this is it or not. It says catalog, which makes me think that it's a shopping page, but there's only 1 row of products and 18 rows of inspiration. So I'm confused about that. How's their code? Can we look at their source code? So they have external style sheets. That's a good thing. We hate to see inline CSS, slows down load times, code bloat.
Definitely.
In terms of SEO, we don't really know how important this is, but code to HTML or HTML to text ratio is like a metric that people care about. I don't know how influential it is, but having that inline CSS is a detriment to that ratio. Here we see some structured data, some JSON LD. That's great to see. And is this their nav here? Google Tag Manager, great. You know, you'll see that across best-in-class e-commerce sites. Google Tag Manager.
Definitely, yeah.
Most sites will use that to deploy analytics, remarketing pixels, things like that. Are we still in their nav here? What are we looking
We're
at?
now in their body.
Okay.
So this is their header menu right here.
Oh yeah, okay.
So their nav goes
And there's their
down.
logo.
Their nav goes pretty far down
Yep.
to here.
Yeah, we're not even into their nav
And
yet.
here's their
There's their
nav.
nav, yeah. Okay. Nav looks alright. So code looks alright. It looks pretty clean, right? I don't see
Definitely.
anything egregious to you.
No, it's pretty clean HTML.
Mm-hmm.
Well structured, easy
Yeah.
to read.
Yep.
How about their links? What do you think about the /catalog/custom?
The relative links.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I don't see any reason to. It's and their links. It's relative versus exact. Yeah, I don't see any reason to, avoid relative links. I think there's no reason from an SEO perspective. I think from a dev perspective, it makes domain name changes easier and things like that. Not that you should do that unless you have a really good reason, but that's my thought.
Yeah.
Should we look at a product page or
Yeah, sure.
maybe the inspiration section and just see what they're doing there? So this is a category page. Right off the bat, filter by. What are our filter options? Okay, so they have some interesting filter options. It's kind of weird that you can't select two of them at the same time. It's also weird that they just have one filter rather than a handful of
yeah.
filters.
The majority of their competition does have
Yeah.
a multi-filter system,
Yep.
so you can really specify the product.
Mm-hmm.
But this is it just looks like style of table. Well, some have color, some have price points, etc. So.
Yep. I like that they have review stars on this. I like that they show prices. Interesting that they even tell you what kind of woods or how many wood options you have for some of these tables.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
So let's just click on this one.
Yeah. So it seems to be fairly unified in terms of the color scheme, right? The orange in the stars and in the drop downs, the add to cart button. The blue is kind of a branded blue for them.
Yeah.
I don't see any egregious sins here. Do you, Nate?
I don't think there's that many. I do like the wood swatches. I think
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's good to have and how it changes the image.
Mhm.
But overall, I mean, it does its job as a product page pretty
Yep.
well.
Breadcrumbs look good.
It shows lifestyle photos
Yeah.
as well, which is really good.
Yep.
Yeah, overall, I don't think it's
Any product video on there?
doesn't seem to be.
No.
There's customer photos, which is interesting.
That Instagram integration.
That's
Interesting.
cool.
Yeah. It is cool.
And then some details about it.
Yeah. Product care. And then recommended, recently viewed. Interesting.
Although I didn't recently view that.
Yeah, that's
so
kind of weird.
that's interesting.
Cool. Should we look at, let's just kind of look around, yeah, ideas and advice and see what's in here.
So this is their inspiration page.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can go to style galleries.
What about lead gen? Do they have if you mouse up over the X, do they have an exit pop-up? Negative. They do have a wish list, which is nice. I see on a lot of e-commerce sites, if you don't have a wish list, people are using your cart as a wish list,
Mhm.
and then they just delete them from the cart.
Definitely.
So it's nice to offer that functionality. Yeah, I feel like lead gen is a weak link on this website. Their blog uses a different header than their main site. Kind of interesting. If you hit their logo on the blog, does it bring you back to their main site? No, it brings you back to their blog. So that's super frustrating as a user. I'd be really pissed.
Yeah, you sort of
Like I don't even
locked
know how to
on.
get back to the main site at that point, and
Yeah.
you just lost me as a customer.
Yeah, sure happens.
Yep.
I would think that room board would be more aligned with Wayfair as it is to me, it seems like it is an industry leader.
Yep.
I mean, Wayfair is obviously 100% e-commerce.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, if you want to compete, I
Right.
guess you just have to align yourself with the king.
I see Room and Board in a lot of trouble in the next couple years because being so brick and mortar based and like in this world of increasing e-commerce, even in furniture, which was like a late adopter to the e-commerce niche, more and more of that is going to come online, and unless Room and Board invests in improving their UI and their whole customer experience on their website, I don't see them succeeding in the next 10 years.
Well, yeah, it's sort of like Walmart versus Amazon. I mean, Walmart's been heavily investing in e-commerce recently because that's the only way they can compete.
And because they were 10 years late on it.
Exactly, because they were brick
Yeah.
and mortar, so they were like, oh, we'll be fine. But
Exactly.
Amazon is beating them hard, so
So that's a really interesting parallel, Amazon to Wayfair, Amazon to Walmart versus Wayfair to Room and Board, because Amazon and Wayfair are both born online,
Yep.
right, versus Walmart and Room and Board, both traditional brick and mortars.
Mhm.
And the same thing is happening in both these instances, is that the brick and mortar is 10 years behind, and then they're only changing because they have to change,
Yep,
because the
exactly.
other one is crushing them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I see that happening with Room and Board in the next 2 to 5 years, and they're going to have to do a major overhaul of their website, invest a lot of money into
To
it.
even remain as a company,
Yep.
especially as we're becoming more digital every
Yeah.
day, and as shipping rates get faster, I mean, what's the point of even going to a store anymore?
Yep.
So e-commerce is definitely become even bigger in the next 10 years than it did in the last 10 years. So.
Yeah. Agreed. Cool. What do you think, Nate? Anything else that we should look at here? How's their footer? So they have some footer navigation. They have social buttons. I like that they have a hashtag, a branded hashtag there.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's great. Did that link? Is that linked to Instagram, or where does that go?
So that links
Okay,
to
interesting.
the customer
Oh,
gallery.
that's pretty cool. That's a cool idea.
Which I'm assuming pulls from it pulls from all around
Twitter and Instagram.
and Facebook and
Wow.
Pinterest. It seems.
Wow.
So that's actually kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, it looks
Very
like
cool.
mostly Instagram and Facebook, but also look at this as a written in response as well.
Interesting. Wow.
So I guess it just compiles everything
Yeah.
into
Very cool.
this one catalog. It's interesting. I think their site's just lacking. I mean, white and black. Nike does it. A lot of other companies
Mhm.
do it, but Nike also they focus on the product, and this is not focusing on the product. So I feel like adding some extra color in there might be beneficial. As like it looks all the same. Like, where am I supposed to go?
Yeah.
There's no
Probably
there's no,
the prettiest thing on this page, like the thing your eye gravitates to, is that plant because of the color.
everything's gray and black, which does work, or white and gray, which does
Yeah.
work, but I don't think it works in this instance.
Yeah.
I mean, Nike was able to pull off, but their site is geared towards the product, and they have products on the homepage.
Yeah. I wonder if we pull this up in a from mobile. Yeah. So hamburger menu top left,
So-
cart top right.
No, they do
Search
have a
bar.
slideshow.
Yep. Yeah, that's interesting.
This seems off as well.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know what's wrong with that.
I think they're just trying to avoid overlaying that on the table, but it doesn't make sense. It looks like an extension of the header.
Yeah, it just seems like you said, it seems like a site that's 10 years behind its competition.
Right.
Like, I don't understand the search icon. I mean, I do understand it, but it can be in a better place.
Right, why not just keep the search bar available?
Or within the menu. Yeah, you can also just keep it available underneath
Yeah.
the logo. There's better ways to do it.
And this is their homepage here,
This
not
is-
their nav.
This is their homepage.
So that frustrates me as a user.
it looks like a nav.
Right, it looks like I'm scrolling through the nav here.
They should be putting the nav in here.
Right,
I mean,
it's almost,
it's
the
it's
hamburger menu is almost useless because
it's-
of the way that they
It's
have
literally,
the
yeah,
homepage.
they literally put the nav in the hamburger and they put it on the homepage.
Yeah, that's
It's
frustrating
exactly
to
the
me.
same thing as you
Yeah.
can see, living dining room, and then living dining room. So it's exactly
Mhm.
the same thing, which is interesting. Interesting decision at least.
How many clicks are we from a product page here? if we dig into like some category, rugs or something.
All right, yeah, let's just go to living. So 1, let's just go to sofa 2. So
Okay,
it's
that's not
actually,
bad.
it's less clicks on mobile,
Yeah,
which is good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, room and board, you know, that's a 200 to 300 to maybe $400 million a year company. They need to invest into some better web presence.
Definitely. Yeah, especially if you want to compete in the next 5 to 10 years
Mhm.
in this niche, as furniture is becoming easier to ship, and shipping times are going down. So,
Yeah.
I mean, look at Wayfair. And
Yep.
Amazon selling furniture, IKEA selling furniture online.
Mhm.
All these places are now moving towards online. Not just because it's a trend, because it will be.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. Catch us on the next episode of the WebSims podcast, and thanks for watching.